It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Naomi and Chaja Moskowitz. Your family name was Moskowitz, and we're here in your beautiful apartment in Netanya. And I have to say from the beginning that your family story is one of the most unique, incredible stories of the Shoah that I've ever heard. And I think everybody should not only hear the story, but appreciate that your parents were the most amazing people. Yeah. How they triumphed against all adversity, and how they saved not only the three of you and with your brother, but they saved other Jews, and they were heroes, amazing heroes.
Yes.
And it's such a privilege and honor to be here. So if you could tell us a little bit about your most incredible family.
I think that Naomi can start to talk, okay. Yes, from where my parents came, and then afterwards we'll tell the story further on, how we get in Amsterdam. Because in the beginning, how it begins, everything started. No. You want me to tell it?
Oh, Naomi, if you can say a little bit about your parents?
Yeah. En even vertellen hoe het met waar papa is geboren.
My father came from. It was called Romanian. Today I don't know how it's called.
I think again Romania.
Ah,
yes,
okay. Yes. And then when he was about 20 years. He sang, he was a chazan, he davened very nice, and then they were looking for a chazan in Bratislava, and he went to there, and they took him as a chazan, so he was there. And there he met my mother, and they married there, and my elder brother, he's not here anymore, and I were born there.
In Bratislava.
In Bratislava. But then when I was about 2 years, they were looking for a chazan in Amsterdam.
There came a man from Amsterdam, a Dutchman came to Bratislava, yes. And he heard our father singing, and he was very impressed. And in the meantime, they were building in Amsterdam a big synagogue, a new synagogue, as they were looking for Chazan. And then there
were 8 Chazanim, and they took my father.
8, I think 50 or something. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And then they took him as a chazan, and then the family, we went to live in Amsterdam.
But that time, it was in 1938, he came to Amsterdam. In 1939, my mother came with you and with Oriel. I was not born, yeah. They came to Amsterdam. At the moment he was chosen. But now I want to tell you something interesting. He also could go to England.
Yes.
And to England, which town in England? I don't remember. Liverpool perhaps. They also was looking for a chazan. And he chose Amsterdam, which was a good kehillah and big kehillah, Jewish kehillah, and he thought it was more. He chose there to go. So how a goral, you know what's goral in
the fate.
The fate. Okay. Because if we would go to England, we wouldn't have this war, you know, because in England the German didn't come to there. But anyway, my mother.
No, when were you born?
Yes, when we were born.
When?
In 1930.
1936.
In Bratislava?
Yes.
Yes.
36, yes.
Yes.
And your brother was born before?
Yes.
4 years before.
And then we came to Holland. I was...
You were already 6 years old? No.
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
In 1939. Ah, yes. Yeah. Yes. And then afterwards, in 1940, there was the invasion of the German to Holland. And verhaal.
And Chaja, when were you born?
I'm born in 1942.
42.
In 1942, that was in the middle of the war already, because the invasion from the German was in 1940 to Holland. And when I was born in 1942, and I was born on the floor, because we couldn't at that time.
There was
we couldn't go to the hospital.
No, but there was a sirene.
Yeah, there was Hazaka. Yes, Hazaka. That's like Hazaka. That we couldn't take.
You couldn't go out your house.
You could.
A curfew.
Hazaka, you call it? Yes.
You had to stay in the house. It was like a curfew.
So
my mother couldn't go to the hospital, and she was born today on the floor.
Yeah, my father called the neighbor. I don't know who it was, but anyway, I had to get birth on the floor. Yes. So that was the beginning of my life.
And do you remember when Chaja was born?
Yes. She wrote in the book. In the book she wrote, my little sister, sweet little sister, was born. Yes.
So this is the book.
This is the book what Naomi wrote. Yes. Also, actually, she had here also the story of her husband, because tell your husband yourself.
Yes.
Yes, was also a survivor from a big family. How many children did they have? 7?
7 or 8.
Yeah, a lot from a Hungarian.
And he was the only one survivor.
He was the only survivor? No.
No, you're sure?
You're sure? No, anyways, he came to Israel, but that's a story what's written here. It's not our story. And so in Amsterdam in 1942, they came to, the Germans, they came to our house. I tell everything was written here in the book. She knows very good everything. And they came to take us already. And then my father said, no, I've just got birth, my wife. So they said, okay, the other family. And so the children.
They took only him.
But they wanted to go to you and the brother. Yes. But he said they are very ill. Yes, they're very ill, and he showed that they are very ill. They can't go to the house, and they believed it. As they went away, they took only my father to Westerbork. Westerbork was a camp where they gathered all the Jews from Holland. That was on the west side, near side from Germany.
And from there they sent the Jews
to all the
camps.
But what is interesting, this Westerbork was in 1939 was actually refugees from Jews from Germany and Austria. They were then, when Germany was already in Europe started, they fly to, that was actually a refugees camp for Jews. But afterwards they used it for a kind of a camp to gather all the Jews together to send them to Auschwitz or everywhere. So we came in 1941. I was already 1 year, not 1943.
43.
Yes, I was already 1 year old. So then they took us by train, my sister and my brother and me and my mother, also to Westerbork.
Can I just ask, Naomi, do you remember when your father was taken?
Yes.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, tell him that he came also for vacation in the middle.
He managed to leave?
They took him to Westerbork, and there was a contact with my mother. I don't.
Well, it was it's amazing. You can't understand it. As he also come for vacation.
And he came a few days to see the family.
How did he manage to leave? It was.
No, they had permission.
I don't know how he came back. Well, he went back.
Anyway, we came on to Westerbork, and then we met our father.
He wanted to see you.
I think so,
He was
but
born.
okay, but if the German have to allow, you just say, I
That's
want to see my
incredible.
children. Anyway, I don't know, but they let him for vacation from Westerbork.
And
But then they took also us.
did
there.
your parents ever think of maybe putting you in hiding or hiding you?
That's another story. That's a very interesting story. My father said to my mother, you have to promise me you are not going to hide. Yes, because if you're going to hide,
Yes.
that time you didn't know what was better.
That if they found you, then it's worse
The
than...
worse, but I don't know. But anyway, that's a story
Yes.
that really my mother, when my father was already in Westerbork, my mother decided to hide. So there was a neighbor, she said, okay, you want to hide? I have a place for you to hide. And come to my house, and I will meet you with people who will take you to hide. But don't open the door for anybody. But I am only going she has to go shopping somewhere, so don't open the door. At the moment she went out of her house, knocked on the door, the German came in. And they took us. So she actually, she English.
Hilshina.
She thought
She gave us to the
German. How you call it in English?
But did she intentionally do it?
Yes.
Yes.
The Kavana?
Yes.
She took us in her...
She informed.
Yes, informed, but you said another word.
She took us in her
That's sure that people
and
would...
she said, I'm going in a moment, don't open the door if somebody knocks. And but she went to
She told the Germans.
yes.
Yeah. And then my mother said my mother was very brave. She was not afraid for nobody. She said to her when a German came, and she saw her also, was it worthwhile for 5 gulden, because that time if you give to the Germans inform, you get 5 gulden. 5 gulden is like 5
Shekel.
5 something. Was that worthwhile?
For 5 gulden, was it worthwhile
to give us to the German? So anyway.
What did she reply?
Pardon?
Do you know what she said when she...
Yes, I don't know. That's what I know about the story. And then we went to Westerbork.
Because of that?
Yeah, the German took us.
And then your mother joined you?
Yeah,
Yes.
we were together. My mother, I as a baby, my sister and my elder brother.
But if she wouldn't have informed, you wouldn't have gone to Westerbork?
This I don't know. If we would, I don't know, because my mother at that time thought to be hidden, so I don't know. And that was her decision, But that time I don't know what was better. But so, I think, I don't know.
And in Westerbork, we met my father.
How was the interaction? Do you remember meeting your father? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Because you were still young. You were how old were you?
Because the men were apart and the women were apart. So almost my father come to look for us, but we didn't come together. Yes.
Yes, that's.
And Naomi, what do you remember of Westerbork?
It was not so bad there as later. There was they made a school for the children, and you could walk around and met your family or.
You also wrote that you had a Mesibat Chanukah.
Yes.
in Westerbork.
Yes.
You had a
It was Chanukah.
party.
Yes, we had a Mesibat Chanukah, and.
There was one who taught you to sing I don't know what is his name.
Yes, they teach us.
Teach us how to sing.
To sing for Chanukah.
And Naomi, do you remember Amsterdam before you were taken? Do you have memories
No,
about
not
your
so
home?
much. I went to a kindergarten, but don't know much.
You remember that you told that I think everything was written in the book because I don't remember that you sometimes it was in the beginning we got that we took Papa to already. So we had get in the beginning we got salary from the gemeente, you said it, from the he was a chazan in a bit classes. So in the beginning the salary was going further, but afterwards
after they took her a few months, they gave the money to my mother.
Yeah, but it started to get difficult. Financials started to get a little bit difficult. So my mother started to sell things. You told in the Agala, in the wagon, and she was selling personal things. And once there was also opportunity. It was a fish shop.
It was also because the Jews had already the
fly, but we not.
We don't.
I don't know.
My mother not, because they came from Hungarian there, and there it was not together a little with the children. So in the beginning we did no stir. So that my mother could go to shops and buy things, and she bought for the neighbors, for the Jews. She bought.
Yeah, because you were a Romanian citizen, perhaps.
Yes.
Not?
Yes.
And you were born in Bratislava.
Yes, but that time it was Austro-Hungaria, so you had an Hungarian.
Everything was Hungarian.
Was it Hungarian citizen or you were a Romanian citizen?
No, Hungarian.
Tell about this dress that you got from the Romanian consulate. What?
We went to the. I have it still, you know.
Yeah.
We went to the Romanian consulate that we live in Holland and we want to be Hollandim. And they had to wrote everything.
So very little sweet girl.
And I was a little girl, and he liked me so much that he gave me a little dress.
And you still have it?
Yeah.
Yes.
A Romanian,
it's a Romanian.
Embroidered.
It's very nice.
So anyway, they got, because they didn't have the tly,
yellow stuff.
So they went, they got fish from the fishermen who were very good related with him after the war also, and they could for Yom Shishi, for Friday, to sell or to bring fish to the Jews.
To bring fish for the Jews.
A little bit to earn money. And anyway, when they were looking was also interesting, but at that time was the war with Korea, I think, in the same time, not? So, when I was in the Agala, in the pram, and they were looking, this is a Michelin. We were always afraid perhaps they will recognize us as Jewish, but we didn't really look like Jewish. I not as a baby at all. I was more looking like something from
Hodu.
From Hodu?
In India.
Yeah, something like this.
She was black, like this.
So, anyway, we came to where are we now? We came to Westerbork. Yes, and
Naomi, did you remember having enough food to eat when you were in Westerbork?
That what?
Did you have enough food to eat, or were you going hungry?
If there was food.
In Westerbork it was not so bad. There was food. And my father, he was there. He got a friend in the kitchen, and so it was okay. But we weren't so long. How long were we there?
I think no, we were perhaps. Let's say I remember that we came in '43. That was October. Yes.
Yes.
And we went from there. We went to Ravensbrück.
Okay. Ravensbrück was very bad. There was
I write it down.
There was no food. Once a day in the evening, you got a piece of bread and something.
We went to Ravensbrück in 1944. So I think we were there from in half a year perhaps.
In Westerbork.
Yeah, Westerbork. Because in 1944 we came there. You told me it was very cold. It was in the winter.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we were in Westerbork like in half a year. In 44 we came to Ravensbrück, and then from actually
we went with the train.
Yes, but tell the story that who kept us safe. That was a doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
But we went from Ravensbrück. From Westerbork, they wanted to send us to Auschwitz.
Ah, yeah.
But on the way, they had a telephone something for Ravensbrück. We need people to work, so they brought us to there. And my mother had to work there. She worked in a factory in.
But the
Siemens.
train was destined to go to Auschwitz.
No,
Yes.
because from
Westerbork.
From Westerbork, they parted the men to another side the women to the Ravensbrück, and the men to all Auschwitz or forever, whatever.
Sobibor, sometimes I went to Sobibor.
So we came to
not
Ravensbrück. They had to need women to work. So my mother,
It was a women camp.
And your father was sent to
my father to Buchenwald, and there also was to work there.
Do you remember saying goodbye to your father?
We were in the same train, but not together. The women were there and the men were there.
What's interesting, in the beginning was the same train, men, women, and then they parted. You also see that they parted the train. Yeah, that's something like this, I'm sure, yes. The men, and what was lucky that my brother was in an age.
He was 12.
So it could.
But he was little, and so they didn't know that he had to go to the men.
With the man, so
he stays with us.
Yes.
So he went to the women's camp.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a women camp, and it was actually a women camp not only for Jewish. That was for the most were Russian, Ukraine. Criminal, I don't know what they thought was criminal or
Polish,
Polish, and it were terrible people.
Yes.
Yes, the terrible women, but the Jewish women were
the Jews were not the most of the women there.
It was not the most were they're Jewish. The most were actually Russian, Ukraine, Poland. Yes. And
but it wasn't work. They worked in a factory for
Siemens. That was for
Siemens, yeah.
Siemens for a weapon factory.
Yes, so my mother also worked there in Siemens.
Therefore, afterwards Siemens is still, they sell Siemens, a washing machine. So my daughter always said, Emma, you can't, your mother, your Savta was working at Siemens. You can't buy anything. You can't buy Siemens. so then you tell what you remember in Ravensbrück actually, that we were together.
Yeah, Ravensbrück, that was very terrible. And so my mother had to go to work, and we were alone with my brother and she and I. We were not allowed to go outside. We had to stay inside. So there were not many children there. Only we and another few from Holland.
And you had the Laufer, but you were not together with the Laufer in the same. You were together?
Yes,
yes. You had the Laufer with the 3 children.
And we were together.
Yes,
but only from Holland we came with children. There were no children at all there. Only women to work. So my mother also worked there.
And do you remember what food you ate or?
What?
There was no food.
There was no food.
There was no food.
Once at 6 o'clock in the evening, you got bread, and something.
You had a little piece of bread you had to share.
That was for the whole day. And then she was a baby, and my mother, she went to the Rocha,
to the couple.
To the couple.
You know, the one who is
she said,
in charge of the, you know the couple.
Was it a Jewish couple?
No, it was not a Jewish couple.
Polish. And my mother said, I have here a little baby, and she can't eat this bread. Maybe you can give something for her. She said, oh yes, it's a nice girl. I'll bring something. And she bring her daisa. Like
a daisa.
Rice.
Not rice. You know what you eat with the babies eat. Okay. But that was very special because she said, I have a cousin also, she has a little baby, looks like her. And anyway, she learned, they teach us to say cough, cough. And my mother said, because I started to walk already and started to talk a little bit, she said cough coffee, yes, that I should go to this lady, and she said ask for cough coffee. That's what I remember you taught me, but I don't remember. But we didn't have to eat that, and it was very cold there, and we had to stay on appel. You know what's appel?
That's they would have.
Yes.
They have to get
every day. They would have
to get up 3 o'clock in the morning and to stay on appel for 5 hours.
A roll call.
5 hours, and my mother had to help me on her arm. I don't know how she did it.
Yes.
And they had to stand. And then once it was that
it was in the winter, it was very cold.
And Uriel couldn't stand on his feet, he was very ill.
Yes.
So she took a chair to put him, Uriel, that's my other's brother, and then she got smacked, they got her makot.
You gave a smack?
Yes, very hard, very much, and
Didn't your mother, she knew German, and she said to the...
Yeah, she knew German.
She was very cross with
Yeah, she was not afraid for nothing. My mother wasn't afraid for no.
And she spoke out. She said, how could you do this?
Yeah, okay, she was watching for her children. She was Shamra la Yeladim.
She was guarding her children.
Yes.
And do you remember going to the appel? Do you remember standing in the...
Yes, we had to stand there. My mother, and then here my brother, and here I, and she was on my mother's hand.
And they would count.
Yes, and once it was in the winter, it was very cold, and my mother, with her, we had no clothes, yes, only one, but was on us. When we came, they took everything away, only what we had on us. And then my mother was so cold, and she held her, so she thought it was a very long time. But
you have to stand.
And then she couldn't stand anymore. She was with her. They took her inside the barrack, and then somebody found her, and she came. She got
a lot of hardings. She was punished.
No, because yes, they hit her very hard because they put me in the barrack.
Okay.
Oh.
So
it was a terrible time. It was terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a very terrible time, and I can tell you about it afterwards. After we finish, then I will tell you about what I felt after the war. Because this war, and I still think so, yes, I don't want to talk about it every time. We talk about it, yes, but a very long time I never want to talk about it. Anyway, after Ravensbrück, they took us to Bergen, Belsen.
But can I just ask, because this is one of the most incredible stories that I've ever heard, with the Christmas.
That was the Christmas. You want to know? That's the Christmas story.
Oh, that's a very nice story.
It's a very interesting story, but she can tell it.
In Christmas, they made a big
party.
A party, Christmas party, and they had a Eitz Kashuach
The Christmas tree.
Trees. And we had a makela.
Choir.
It was a choir.
In a choir, yes.
And then before we learned all the songs, and then on Christmas we stand in a big hall. We stand all the makela.
The choir.
The choir. We stand on the wall, and we had to sing. And my mother, she was outside. But she looked at us, and then they had this Christmas tree. They wanted to put on the lights, and my brother, he was the biggest child,
the eldest one,
the eldest from the boys, and they took that he should put on the lights in the Christmas tree. And then he went to there to the tree, and then they told him to sing for Christmas, and then he started to sing for Hanukkah.
You remember this? Okay. But actually, you know what, they were intending to kill all the children. That was actually the intention. What was left there? To kill the children. But that what happened.
But yeah, it happened. But he sang Hanukkah lied, and then they said they will make a party for the children, and there were more children, not only Jewish. There were also I don't know from where. And then my mother, she stood outside, and she said to us, we had to come out. It's not our chagiga. We have to go, not to be on the party. And then we sprang from the window outside, and we went half there. And after 100 meters we heard the rush there. They killed all the children there.
Was an explosion. There actually was an explosion. Yes.
They killed all the children who were inside.
Yeah, it was an explosion, and that was their intention to kill the children. Okay.
And when was this? This is in 19...
We are speaking about 1944.
So
it was all...
That was in
already the Russians were approaching already.
I don't know.
It was on the end
of the end. No, because actually, I don't know when because that was until the end of 44. Because in 44 we went to Bergen, Belsen.
Yes.
And Bergen, Belsen, we were not a long time because that was the end of the war.
No,
already.
it was. They wanted to finish this Ravensbrück.
Okay.
And then they put us on the trains.
But that Christmas party, if your mother wouldn't have, because I think you had to prepare. You learned. Do you remember learning the Christmas carols?
Yes.
Was it in German, the Christmas carols?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And you had to learn it?
Yeah, sure.
But your mother didn't want you to participate because
she
it was...
didn't want us to stay on a party, but it was not a party. They killed. But
and I think your mother also told the Laufer family that they shouldn't be there as well, and because of that,
I don't know. I don't know about their story. Actually,
they say your mother was the one that said that they shouldn't be in that party either because it's not a Jewish festival.
Yes.
And because of that, their children and your family survived.
Yes.
That's actually true.
And people say, but if there was like a fire and the explosion, didn't you hear it? But they said that there was a lot of other explosions from the Russians approaching, and there were bombs going on.
Yes.
So, and it was a big camp. I think it was a very big camp.
Yeah, that was a very big camp.
And then a little time later, the German wanted to finish this camp, and the English, they came close.
So they came already close.
So they wanted to finish with this, and they put everything on the train, everybody there. And then we came to
Westerbork.
Do you remember going on the train to
yes,
Bergen, Belsen?
Bergen, Belsen, we came by the train is very far.
We were more than a day. We were with this train.
Was it a cattle cart? Or?
No. I don't know cattle car. No, in a train.
It was a train. We sat on the floor.
Look, Ravensbrück and Bergen Belsen are very far. Was very far, so we have to be on the train.
So we sat on the floor. There were no chairs, banks, and then we came to Bergen Belsen, and there was it terrible. We came in the barrack.
There was nothing anymore there. That was actually already the end of the war.
And everybody was on the floor, and there were no beds and no chairs. Everybody was on the floor, and there was no food, and some people they died.
Died a lot of people there.
They stayed.
Thousands of people died there.
There was typhus. There was a lot of diseases.
Yes, and then and nobody took them out when they were dead. And then one day, my mother, she said to another woman, she said, they said together to take out the dead people.
Because they told us if somebody takes out the dead, you get a little bit more food.
Yes, you get a little.
So they schlepped them to the wood. I don't know what was there. They schlepped them there.
Naomi can ask, and it's difficult. Do you remember seeing dead bodies?
Yes, we were lying next to them, and then my mother and with another wood, and they schlepped them out. And I asked her, where did you put them? She said everybody had to be in the wood there, in the bejaar. But we had no koyach, we left them outside the barrack. And there were already asarot.
There were like piles of
piles of
in Bergen, piles of dead bodies.
Yeah, I don't know what they did afterwards. I think they, I don't know. But that actually, the end of that was the end of the war that they released. You say, Shigrotanu. We Shigrotanu with an airplane. But they first ask everybody from where are you coming.
Wait, before, can I just ask Chaja?
Yes.
Do you remember when you were liberated in Bergen?
I liberated, yes. Liberated in Bergen Belsen.
Do you remember that day?
Yes.
What happened on that day?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Suddenly, the English, they liberated, and they never saw a thing like this. They saw all the dead people and everything, and they gave us a little food what they had. And then they asked everybody from where he came. You had to write down, they came from Holland, they came...
Because to liberate, everybody could go only from original from where he came. You couldn't just come...
because they wanted to finish this all...
because also but I heard afterwards, all the borders in Europe were closed for people. Only for people, we were Dutch, we could only come to Holland, we couldn't go to France if I feel like. But then, tell about, we had an aunt, also the brother of my father, the sister of my father, she joined us also in Ravensbrück.
We met her in Ravensbrück.
Yes,
she came from Romania.
Yeah, but she came already, she was already in Auschwitz, I don't know how this happened.
No.
She came from Auschwitz, no?
No, she was on the way to Auschwitz.
Ah, she was on the way to Auschwitz.
But they brought her also to Ravensbrück, and I was on the floor. I was playing, and then suddenly she saw me and she said, "Ah, you know me?" I said, "Yes." She said, with who are you here? I said, with my mother and my brother. And she was so happy, and she said, "Okay, I come with you. You are now my daughter. I'll always be with you." And then she stayed with us all the time.
And in Bergen Belsen, she didn't want to that she should come with us to Holland. because they say you have to go to Romania back. But she said, I have nobody in Romania. And anyway, she has to promise that she can come with us to Holland. The Dutch people were very difficult. But you, zoals ze met aanzet, I will go to Palestine. That was called Palestine. At the moment I can go to Palestine, I will leave Holland. So she had to, when she came with us, anyway, when we got released,
But before you got released, I have to mention this, Chaja and Naomi, because your mother did something which is absolutely extraordinary. She saw on the pile of bodies, Mrs. Laufer, can you tell us, because this is something...
זה היה בברגן בלזן, היה על הערימה של כל הגופות האלו, היא ראתה פתאום מישהו זז, היד.
Okay, wait, in English, because it's incredible.
On the pile of bodies, I don't know, she saw some, and when she was moving people, yes, she saw something moving.
She moved her mouth and then
the hand or I don't
something know. She moved. So she said she's not dead, and she took her.
They took her out of all the
dead people.
Yes. Like and
brought her inside in the barak.
In the hospital, I don't know where they brought her, but anyway.
In the barak, where we will. How do we say barak?
But I heard it took a long time till she got...
Because they say a doctor said, we can't waste our medicine, she's going to die. And your mother was insistent that she has to save, she's got children. And it was because of your mother that
but it was already, the English were already very close there. And, so
but they gave her medicine and they said that they thought she was going to die. But your mother was insistent that she should survive.
Yeah, she has 3 children there.
And it's because of that she did survive.
Yes, she did survive. This Laufer, she survived. I think she was, so I don't know, she was in the 95 or something like this. Anyway, but
do you remember when they gave you the food? Because that's also something incredible.
Don't ask me, I don't remember.
Naomi, do you remember when you were liberated?
Liberated is also a whole story. Because when the English, I tell everything what I write in the book. The English give food, Sunday and chocolate and everything, but that caused a lot of people to die.
They weren't used to it. Their body couldn't take it.
And then my aunt says, she said, you are not going to eat. She comes suddenly with selek. How you call selek, this red, when you make, how you call selek in English? Radish. She said, I'm going to cook it, on a tilia, something. She made fire and she went to cook it, and this you are going to drink first before you start slowly to eat, because otherwise it will finish you. That's what she...
This was your aunt?
That was my aunt.
Yes. Do you remember the name of your aunt?
Chaja, like my name. But I'm not called after it. My name Chaja is after my grandfather, Chaim. Yes, he in the wartime he died, but not with because of the Germany. He died.
He was old.
He died. He was sick. He was sick and he died. So then they called me Chaja on his name. But anyway, we got. And
can I just ask, when the British came, do you remember the British soldiers? Were they They pleasant? Did you know what was happening?
They didn't see a thing like this. They were astonished what happened there. And
I know that was everybody was. It was not something. I think all the people were half dead. Those who were alive was also half dead. But then, by the liberation, they took us from. If you want to know more. For the liberation, they took us with airplane to Holland.
Okay, now I want to ask you about your father.
Yes. In the meantime, my father, I have a ring here. I wear it, but the whole family have this ring. The original one is at her. I have here a ring, but my father, I will tell her, that was in... Was that in Boegewald he made it, or in
Boegewald.
In Boegewald.
He found a silver...
I will take it off, you don't need... my father came in Boegewald.
He found a silver spoon.
Yeah, wait a minute. I will tell, but you can't see it. It is engraved, and it's very.
He found a silver spoon, and he made from it a ring.
A ring.
And on the ring, he wrote the names of the children.
On the ring is written like this: from, up, and where is Benzion, Frida, Uriah, Naomi, Chaja. That's written on this ring. And on the side is written here the W from Westerbork. Yes. And on the other side is Theresienstadt and Ravensbrück. I know everything engraved here. I don't know. Ravensbrück, no.
It's amazing.
So I have this original
Boegewald written here. Anyway, the original one is at her house. And we make a duplicate. Duplicate for everybody. My daughter, she's also a jewelry. She did makes for a duplicate for everybody. All the grandchildren have it, and I wear it. This ring. That he made in Boegewald.
Now in Buchenwald,
there he made this ring. He found a piece of stone. I don't know what he found.
He found a silver spoon.
No, but how he engraved it?
In a stone.
Stone or iron. I don't know what he found there. That he made this ring. It was from a silver spoon because you can see it.
He was a Chajan, but he also was a goldsmith.
That we didn't know that he was first of all. You see, this is divided. That was one piece.
Oh, okay.
He made it from a spoon, from a silver spoon. Yes.
And your father, I think, because he was a Chajan, the Germans wanted him to sing.
Yeah. Yes.
And he would sing, and they would give him.
Yeah, we didn't speak about the part that he was in Moskowitz and Theresienstadt. We only told, in the meantime, we told our story.
And what did did your father tell you what happened to him when he was in Moskowitz?
I don't know, really. I don't know. I don't know.
Did he tell you that he used to sing for the Germans and they would give him bread?
Yeah, no, he was not singing for the German, but he told once that it was...
he was singing for opera. He was...
He knew opera and he sang for the German.
He was singing for the German, and he also, afterwards, when they heard that he was engraving, they gave him the rings to engrave the initial on the rings to engrave. So he had some protection, but not that was later on, because in the beginning they also slapped him, how you call it, hit him, because he was always protected. He was also a couple, a Jewish couple, and he kept whole shamar al rabbanim.
He protected the rabbi.
Protected the rabbi that they shouldn't do the hard work, and that
he worked for them.
And that was his Hagoral Shelo.
His fate.
That he got ill because he worked in an asbest
factory.
No, not factory.
They made asbest on the road. On the kwish.
On the kwish asbest? No. Even מצאו את asbest. Where do they find asbest? Under the ground, not? Anyway, there he was working, and then because of this he got cancer lungs, because the asbest is in history. If it stays, it can stay 25 years and then it finished. But okay, that happened in...
I think what your brother mentions that he was outside and it was very cold and he was worried that he was going to affect his voice. So he asked if he could work rather inside, and they put him in a factory with asbestos. And that's how he got infected with asbestos. And he passed away when he was very young. I think
he was also...
He passed away when he was 61, yes.
61.
Yeah, well?
But he was working on the road, and there were rabbis who had to work, and he took their work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your father speak a lot about what happened when he was in
Look, you don't ask me this, because I it was not interesting after the war. When after the war, when we liberated, I was not yet 3 years old, and you want to ask about my father of the liberation, where we got to Eindhoven.
But can I just, your father from, they went on the death march to...
Yes, he was on the death march from Buchenwald to Theresienstadt. For Theresienstadt it was a few days walking.
But what he did something also incredibly extraordinary.
Yes,
there was Mr. Laufer was...
He was slapping Mr. Laufer, and he told him, you don't stop. When you just stop, they shut you down.
I think he couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah, and I don't know if my father could walk anymore.
And your father saw him and he said, we're so close, I think they could see in the distance.
Yes, we could close, a little bit. He slapped him, also mentally, I don't know, physically or mentally. Yes. Both, yes, because I never can remember my father physically, like today you go like this, so I don't know. I remember my father very elegant, dressed man.
And he saved his life. And
yes, he saved his life.
For 2 kilometers they walked to Theresienstadt, and there they counted
I don't know how many kilometers from Buchenwald to Theresienstadt, because it's very far. I looked up, it is like, because Buchenwald is in Germany and Theresienstadt in Czechoslovakia.
I think the last kilometer or 2 kilometers.
Yes.
But he schlepped him.
Yes, he schlepped him.
And then I think out of the whole transport, only
that Mr. Adon Laufer, whenever I met him, I remember I met him once on the airplane when I went to Holland, and I met him there. Every time when he saw me, he said, oh, your father rescued me, your father. He always remembered that. He always remind that my father that he actually rescued him, yes.
It's amazing, because a lot of people would have just thought about themselves. And it's amazing. Your father was, and your mother, they both were
extraordinary. Very amazing.
They were heroes. Most people would just think about saving their own families and themselves, but they thought about everybody.
Yes, that's true. Because you are right, because people who are in danger don't think about other people, think about themselves, actually, how to rescue, how lisrot, how you call it lisrot in English, how to survive. How to survive. So if you want to survive, you don't think about other people, but I don't know.
And how long was your father in Theresienstadt?
Look, if we are talking about 1944, and we were liberated in when we went to Westerbork, he went to Buchenwald.
Yes.
And Buchenwald, and afterwards Theresienstadt, so I don't know how long.
Did he speak about Theresienstadt?
Yes, he spoke about it, but look, I think, but I asked also my other sister, my younger sister, if we were talking a lot about the war. I think that Naomi, she was learning the engraving, her mikzoa, how you call it?
A profession.
The profession. And she was sitting together with my father on the same table. My father was sitting, and And you said that he was never talking about the war.
No.
No.
You never spoke?
No, he was not. He did never talking about the war. I think later on, because in the beginning, nobody wants to talk about the war.
I remember that when we came home, and we came to a home.
Now, I want first to tell how we met. I want first to tell about how we met. When we
אני רק רוצה להגיד שהיה לנו את הדירה כבר.
You had your home?
Yes, then my father, he said, מה שהיה, לא מדברים על זה יותר.
What was, we don't talk about it anymore. But I want that you tell me how when we liberated, how we met our father.
Yes, how did you meet your father?
No, okay, that's a very interesting story. We came from the airplane, we come to Eindhoven.
And you went on an airplane?
On the airplane,
okay.
from Bergen, Belsen, on the airplane they took us. This is the only thing that I remember. I sat on the floor. I don't know how I remember this. We sat on the floor and we came to Eindhoven. Eindhoven, you know what's Eindhoven? Where the Philips factory is.
All the refugees.
And the refugees came there. And then they were on a list, all the names who came from Germany. And then they said to my mother, there is a Moskowitz here.
My mother said her name Moskowitz. So he said, oh, there is here a Moskowitz. I'm going to look for him. And then it was my father.
He had already arrived?
He arrived from Dresdenstadt.
And then I remember that he came walking to us. He walked so.
He was very, very. You wrote in the book that you didn't recognize him.
Yeah, I was young.
Yeah, I didn't see him for.
And your father was very thin and weak. And
yes.
Yes, and he was also sick. He was in a hospital. He was in a hospital there. I don't know what he has.
Reot.
From
his lungs.
Yeah, I don't know. He
he was working on the quits, so he got
dust.
The dust.
Dust, yes.
Anyway, he was very ill, and then they took us everybody to Amsterdam.
But you remember when you saw your father?
Yes.
Were you crying? Was it very emotional?
No, I was looking. I didn't recognize him, but we were standing there for the outside, and somebody came like this, and I didn't recognize him. But my mother said, "Oh, here he is," and then we knew it already.
No, but was it exciting that you saw him? Or you even didn't?
No,
I
do you remember crying?
No, but
I think that people lost their emotions. But I think people were half dead. That's what I think. They had no emotion anymore. That's what I think.
I think because the trauma of seeing dead bodies.
It was very traumatic. Everything.
Naomi, do you still remember the image of the dead bodies in Bergen Belsen?
Yes.
It's very difficult.
Yes, I remember.
It must be so difficult. But seeing your father, it must have been incredible.
Yes.
And you didn't know till that moment that your father was alive, that he had survived?
No, but what was interesting, in the beginning of when we were in Ravensbrück, this I never understood how you got letters.
Yes.
I want to show you letters here. I have two letters.
In the beginning they could write.
Right. I will show you in the book here picture that there were letters. איפה זה?
זה בסוף אני חושבת.
בסוף? לא, זה היה פה, רגע, השתחרר פה, השתחרר. one moment please, לא, זה היה קושי יוסי, וזה עכשיו החלק שלה, וזה, וזה.
Naomi, when did you write the book?
When did you write? No, when did you write the book
I
about?
think 30 years ago.
No, less. Perhaps it is
12
here.
years.
Perhaps it is here written. No, you have to look this. We had letters. יש לי את הספר הזה.
אני חושבת שזה בסוף או בהתחלה. לא באמצע.
And they sent letters to Ravensbrück?
Yes, here. Here, but I don't know if you can picture it. Here it is written to my mother, and my mother wrote, wir sind alles gesund, auch die Kinder, sie sind den ganzen Tag, you understand? Sind den ganzen Tag draußen auf die Sonne, auf der frischen Luft, in der Sonne, und die Kleine beginnt schon vor sich selbst zu sprechen.
That's you. They're speaking about
Die Großen, die waren in der Länge.
Hi, can you just translate it?
Yeah. Oh, we are all healthy, and also the children. They are the whole day at outside in the sun, in a good air, in a fresh air, in the sun. And the kleine, the small one that I am, she starts already to talk a little bit, and the bigger ones they grow, they get taller. Yeah.
Can we take it? It's incredible.
Als je dan hier ziet, het korrelse van en je dan zet hier het abechtabim האלו.
This was in May 1944.
Yeah.
And it's got
That's amazing. We don't understand that.
F. Moskowitz Heinowitz.
Yes, my mother was Heinowitz. אני יכולה להראות לו את זה, יש לי את זה שם, אני לא יודעת אם יש לו זמן. You know what? I have all these letters, but I'm not going to, I didn't take it.
And you've got the originals?
No, the copy. And the original is somewhere else,
Okay,
that I told you. Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, there are incredible things, but you don't understand actually how that could be.
So your father was sent from Theresienstadt also to
Eindhoven. There we met.
and he came a little bit before you.
I think it must be at the same time.
Or even the same time.
But at the moment it was liberation, so I don't know, one day before, one day it was all together, because
yes.
we all together. I don't think we didn't stay in Eindhoven. From there they took the people everywhere. They took us to Amsterdam. And from there, in the beginning, we were some hospital, I don't know why. And from the hospital, they have to look for.
Everybody get to
look at apartment.
Apartment.
Yes.
And the apartment that you had before the war.
Before, not before the war. After the war.
I know, but you couldn't go back to your original apartment.
No, because it was not ours.
It
was rented, because in that time people didn't buy houses. You know, and we were like Olim Chadashim, we were new immigrants in Holland. Yes, so I don't think they had money to buy an apartment.
But I remember when they wrote us down, Moskowitz, the man said, oh, there is here a Moskowitz, I know, I'm going to look for him. And then it was my father.
And do you remember your mother?
And he remembered, my father came, he was lachen, ze kashem, and he
was walking.
And he remembered that.
And do you remember your brother and your mother when they saw him?
Yes, sure.
If you remember how mother reacted.
No, I was running before, I don't know.
You were running, so you were very happy.
And how old were you at the liberation?
9 years?
Wacht, hij was 44?
45 was de in the beginning, April 45
so
was the liberation.
It was 9 years.
45, yeah, 9 years, yes, yeah.
And how did it feel knowing that your father survived and that you were again a family?
Look, I think, I will tell you something. You ask how people feel. The people had no care for nothing, I think. And they were
maybe deflated.
But when it was the liberation, I was 9 years old, we didn't know that everybody was killed. Later we knew it.
You know everything what happened on you didn't know that there were 6 million people killed, yes? The people didn't know anything.
We know only what happened with us, but we didn't know that everybody was killed and this.
So can I ask you, what happened to your extended family? To your
family?
Your grandparents, your uncles and aunts?
Look, my grandparents in Romania, I think my grandfather also, they took him to Auschwitz. But I don't know if my father, look, my mother had her parents were in Bratislava, and her mother that took her with a grandchild together, took her to Auschwitz. Yeah. Her father was died naturally. Yes, my grandfather, the father of my grandfather. They took him to Auschwitz. My grandmother also died naturally. She was already 60. The father, she died already before. Okay. She was young. Yes. Yes. And the rest of the family, I don't know.
Did you have any uncles and aunts that survived?
All the aunts, let's say all the sisters of my father. One sister came with us to the Chaja, and the other sisters, one sister, she already immigrated to Israel in 1934. Yes. That was the Kiryat Atta. And the other sister, I don't know, they also took her, I think all the other sisters also in Auschwitz. Yes.
And those that were taken to Auschwitz, did they all die? They all killed?
Yeah, after the war, no, actually who was left, that was my parents from our family, my parents, we, and my aunt.
And the rest, all?
That's all, yes. Actually. And there were cousins, and all cousins who were, from my mother's side, they came already before into Israel already immigrated. There were a lot of
America.
In America, for example, the family of my mother, the Heinrich, yes, they already came here before our before the 1940. When was it?
Before the war.
Pardon?
They came before.
Yes, they came before, and they immigrated to Australia. Immigrated. That was the side of my mother. The side of my father, nobody. I don't remember somebody. No.
But it's very rare that your family, the parents and the 3 children, and also with the Laufer family, that the parents and the three daughters,
yes,
that they all survived.
Yes,
it's incredibly rare.
That is very rare, because I have friends.
It's unique.
I have friends in my age, yes, that don't have parents anymore, and they had or
no family,
or they were hidden, very complicated everything. That without parents, yes, we are very fortunate that we came with a family, and we had a very we had a very good life, actually. My parents were quite normal after the war.
And after the war, you lived in Amsterdam?
Yes. We had an apartment in Amsterdam. We got in Amsterdam, not far where my father was in the synagogue we were before.
Which synagogue was it?
Lextra, that was in the south of Amsterdam. I don't know how to call it. And And we got an apartment not far from there, because where my father started to have Chazan, he continued to be Chazan in the Lekstraat. And we went to in the kindergarten. She went to the school.
Was it a public school? Or
no,
a
it was
school?
a Jewish school.
A Jewish school?
It was quite afterwards, but a Jewish school.
Yes, after the war they opened the Jewish school.
But you have told me that you in the beginning you come in a class from all ages. I started really in the first, because I was...
But I came in all ages, and then they ask everybody how old he is, did this
and
class.
And most of the children in your class, they were all survivors?
Not all, no, they were...
hidden. All the Jews were survivors, all hidden or from a camp, for where they were not staying. You couldn't stay at home. I don't know. Somebody stayed in his home. Everybody was a survivor. Also the teachers, they were not normal.
Yes.
And could you
what?
Did you ever speak with your friends about what had happened in the war?
No.
With your friends?
Nobody. Wait a minute. I want to tell you something.
And
nobody.
Even those that were hidden, they never
People
spoke?
was not talking about the war. The people were not talking about the war, because Naomi said that when they came to Amsterdam, that my father said, what was happened. We have to continue our life.
We must move forward.
We are looking forward, and nobody was talking about the war. Nobody.
Did you ever hear them speaking privately about?
I don't know. Not in our.
No,
I heard sometimes my mother was by night. She was crying very hard.
Yeah, weet je, and I also think that my younger sister and brother, they told us that they were asking things, and I think later on they were talking about things, because I always heard my aunt. She was always there. Couldn't stand this war, because everything what was happened to me was because of the war. My aunt, she was talking about the war.
Yes.
She was talking about the war. She was the only survivor. She had no husband. She had also never had children. But I remember that she was talking about the war. But
and she lived with you?
Yeah, she lived with us in the beginning, and she has to come to sign every time to the police, or I don't know, to sign that she's still here and that she lives at our house. At the moment, Grazat Amdina, that was
when the state was established.
She came to Israel.
They told her, you have to go. The Dutch people.
You can go already.
You have to go.
You have to go.
You have to go. So you have to go. And that, I have a picture here. She was on I found it on the ship here.
Ah, yes.
This called Haifa. I don't know how it's called. This she was here on the ship to way to Israel. Yes.
And where is your aunt in the picture?
Pardon?
Where is she in the picture?
Yes, that she's on this one. Oh, excuse me, this one. Yes, and she had on the pic, and she went to Israel. Yes.
She's the tall one.
And she.
In my eyes, she was also always old.
And she came to Kiryat Ata.
And what was her name?
Chaja.
Yes,
Chaja.
And did you keep in touch with her?
In Kiryat Ata, yes, yes. And the last year she was living at my house. But in Kiryat Ata, she had a sister.
Yeah, the sister, she already
came. She came to Israel before everything.
Before the war.
Even before Israel.
He has written on Yat Anekba. Okay. It was the ship. Okay.
And when did your parents, your brother, when was your brother born?
My brother. You mean my eldest brother?
Your younger brother.
Your brother in 1940.
It's
Moshe. We are 5 years.
He was born after
1947, I think.
After the war.
After the war. And you remember the Brit Milah, or you remember when he was born?
I remember only I remember, no, Brit Mila, I don't remember. I don't remember really the Brit Mila. We are 4.5 years different, but I don't remember the I think I also, after the war, I was very, I don't think, it was very difficult for me, the whole war, how I survived it and how I continue it. That's what I remember.
Kai, you've got such a beautiful picture of your parents. So this is after the war.
It was after the war.
And this is when your brother was born, when Moshe was born.
Ah, yes. Ah, well, that's wanted to.
And with your mother and your father. Extraordinary. And then this is a little picture with you also. Beautiful pictures. And your parents, who were extraordinary, when you were growing up in Amsterdam, you had a happy home?
A home was happy, yes.
Yes.
Yes. We had a happy home. A happy home. First of all, my father was an artist, so he was also playing piano. He was also making music. Yes. He was also writing music. And he was also an engraving and making jewelry. And Naomi was helping him with.
I was also learning.
And here is a picture. Yes. That she what.
This is, I think, also a picture with your aunt.
Yeah, but no, I want to show a picture. Naomi was here. Oh, I can't find it.
Shall you have it, Chaja?
Can. Should have it, Chaja. Because to my mother, far.
Is this?
This what she made. Look, this is a brush, a pin, and she's working.
Is this you, no?
Yeah.
This is incredible. And you made this for the...
Yes.
Yes, I learned from my father this work, but I also was on.
But you know, if you're talking about the war, I was not happy. A happy child, I think. No, I was not. This is my father's a Chazan, and this is in the Bet Knesset.
In Holland?
Yeah, in Amsterdam. On this Bet Knesset here. You see this here? Yeah, you see the Bet Knesset, this is the same.
And it's still today, the Bet Knesset?
Yes, but it is not anymore used as Bet Knesset, but they use it now as a
market.
No, not market. Auction.
It's no more a synagogue.
Because you can't break down this synagogue, because it has for his time that it's built, it has a special
but there are
architectuur. The architectuur.
You can't. It's
because for that time they built it. It has a special architectuur. Architectuur. You say. Okay. So this is they can't. It is now. Dus I here in the kindergarten.
This is in the kindergarten.
Yeah, Jewish one, all Jewish children.
And where are you in the picture, Chaja?
Here, I'm here. This one.
Was it?
So
all of these children were survivors.
These are all Jewish children. But if you want to show, I have your picture with non-Jewish children also.
But you know what's so sad, Chaja? If you look at this picture, the children aren't really smiling.
No.
They're not happy.
No, but that's why I told you. People were not happy, not smiling. No, I don't think that. No.
But your parents made you a happy home.
Yes, I think so. a very harmonica. We had very harmonica because my mother was a very quiet, good woman, like she is, and and my father was very. He did everything at home.
And this is...
What was this? Ah yes, it was on a wedding.
Ah yes, and he was a chazan.
He was a chazan.
So this is on a wedding with the rabbi.
And can I ask, when you were in Amsterdam, and you started hearing about the Shoah and what happened, and that so many of the Dutch were deported, it must have been very difficult being in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but I was not interested in the war. I never want to talk about it, and that was also very rare. She always I don't know, but I never wanted to. Later on, yes, I thought about it. I put it aside because otherwise I couldn't continue with my life. That's what I thought.
And Naomi, can I ask, when you were growing up in Amsterdam, you were a bit older, and you saw the Dutch, did it ever worry you that maybe they informed on Jews or they helped with it? Because it's very difficult, because there were a lot of Dutch that saved Jews in hiding and risked their lives, but there were also the Dutch that informed.
But you know what, another thing, the people I don't think that Naomi, that your friends, they were all survivors that somebody talked about.
No, we never talked about it.
No, people didn't talk about it.
With the friends, we didn't talk about it.
Nobody talked about it.
But your friends, you never spoke?
No.
And those that were in hiding, they never spoke about the experiences?
No, didn't. That is much further on. Yes, further in I don't know which year, you're further on.
I remember I was in school, it was not a Jewish school, it was after the...
Ah, you mean op de kunstnijverheidsschool?
No, it
was... in the art school, you mean?
No, before.
Before?
Before, I was there, and it was not a Jewish...
Like a secondary school?
Yes, and we had German lessons, and I made some shigia.
A mistake.
And the teacher, he started to shout at me that I didn't learn it enough. I said, I know it okay because I was there more than a year, so I know it.
And that you know what you are right, that he doesn't know, you mean. But you know what I thought about it today, because you are asking, you know that I was always afraid for dogs, yes?
Yes.
And I was always afraid for dogs, and I never understood why I'm afraid for dogs actually. And now I understood because of the dogs there that we had in a concentration camp, they were walking there with dogs. Yes? So I think I was always afraid for dogs, and I think it is still things you have from
memories. Chaja and Naomi, did you speak to your children about the Shoah?
I didn't, but afterwards, yes. Now more and more, my grandchildren know everything about it, yes. But when they were small, I never talk about it.
Naomi, did you speak to your children?
Yeah, you talk about it.
Yes, with the children.
You with your husband, Yossi, you talked about it, yes, and I didn't. And Naomi always said, you remember we went to go to Ravensbrück, it was a remembrance day after 25 years, and then I didn't want to go. And she said, come, why?
Yes,
come.
And did you go?
Yes. Finally I went, but I didn't want to go.
And how was
it? I said, it is a part from life I don't want to remember. I don't want to see it. I don't want to remember it at all. I don't want it. And then Naomi said, come. Anyways, it was free.
And how was it going back? It must have been... Was it very traumatic?
It was so different. There was nothing. It was,
I had no feeling.
But there was nothing to see. Everything was empty.
Yeah, you know what, the Ravensbrück, they had I remember the entrance you could see.
Only the entrance.
The entrance, but all the things they wiped away.
Yes, yes.
But on we were up also in Westerbork, in Bergen, Belsen. There they wiped everything away.
Yes.
Yes, only had an andarta, a statue.
And is there a museum?
It's an empty field.
But on Ravensbrück, they made signs where all the barracks were, yes, on numbers. That's what I remember.
Yes.
But look,
in Westerbork, you went back?
No, I never have been there.
Haven't been there.
I don't know why.
It doesn't exist anymore.
No, it exists.
Yeah?
Yes, it exists. It is because it is in a town. It is people live there. No, it exists. Yes.
And it's amazing that your parents went through such enormous trauma and they saw such devastation, such unimaginable, harrowing, and they still kept their faith. They still remained from your parents.
Naomi also.
I know, but it's just amazing that your parents had.
Yes, no, because.
And your father remained.
No,
committed to
this is called the book is called. This book is called. He meant that a lot of people. I know a lot of people, for Dutch people, they didn't want to have anything with the religion anymore, and they even didn't send their children to a Jewish school. Yes, but Chaim be'emunah. You know what's Chaim be'emunah?
With faith.
Yeah, that was my parents. Chaim be'emunah. Huh?
But your parents were extraordinary.
Yes.
They really were.
Yes.
So if I can ask you both, what message do you give to your children and grandchildren and to the future generations?
But Naomi didn't tell. Do you want to tell?
What?
Mashikarayma. Adlotza.
Good.
Okay.
Sapri. She had another. She went through not only she had
I'm not only a survivor. I'm
she had
also
another
survivor here. But here my daughter with her husband and 3 grandchildren, they were killed in Jerusalem.
In
Sbarro.
They were in Sbarro?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my Shoah went a little farther.
And there was another Dutch family that the whole family was also...
Yeah.
There was a Dutch family also.
Yes, that was her family. Her daughter, with the son-in-law and the 3 children.
Yes, they were in August.
That's a Dutch
they
family.
were by me. They came here to the sea and everything.
They came at her
office,
home.
and then they wanted to go home. They lived in
they were living, you call it in the West Bank. Yes.
And then they went to Jerusalem in a Beit Cafe before going home, and there they were killed.
It was in the Sbarro.
You know, we had a trauma.
They all buried, I think, in Har Menuchot.
Yes, we had a trauma from after the war. And she has another trauma, what happened. But because you asked, I felt a very big trauma after how you call it in English? You said traumatic. I think I had a very traumatic life. And therefore I had to build myself. I built it myself. That's what I felt. Because you had to start even as a baby. Yes, you say you're unconscious. You don't remember, but you. I was a baby, but I don't remember. But I had this traumatic. What happened? So.
You know, I remember the Sbarro incident like yesterday.
Yeah.
I remember you.
I remember.
That has happened in 2001, I think. 2001. But and you want to know?
There was my daughter, in her class, there were 3 girls that their sister was also Malki Roth. She was also in the Savaru, in my daughter's friend.
Your daughter's friend.
Her sister was also one of those.
And she died there?
In the Savaru. Malki Roth. Yeah.
That time we had enough. I don't think that you know any other names, no?
No.
But the Dutch family, I can't believe it's your family. It was everybody knows.
Her daughter.
It's your daughter.
Yeah, daughter and grandchildren. Her daughter was with eight children. 5 survived, 3.
5, the bigger one, they weren't there with them. They were with the little ones.
Yeah. So that's our story actually. And you want to give us a message?
Just 1 minute.
No. You want to know the message from? We survived, and we continued our roots here in Israel. I have 8 grandchildren. I had 3 daughters, and we continued. We and my sister has more. We continue our life here. We give our roots here in Israel, Ba'aretz, and we hope it will go on. And that's what but I think that we complete, how you call it? We accomplished.
It's incredible. And Naomi, what message can you give?
Naomi, what was my message? Wat je gaan leggen?
Everything comes from heaven, and you have to go on.
ואת המשכת את הרוץ, את השורשים שלך פה בארץ, עם כל בלי הנראים ילדים, נחמדים, נכדים, כולם, כן?
So I just want to thank you both. If I can just thank you, it's been, for me, this has been such a schut that there are no words. It's been one of the greatest bemet for both Chaja and Naomi.
There, without her, I couldn't do it, tell it.
But you both are, you know, when I heard the story of the Laufers and then I heard the Moskowitz, I cannot believe that it's unbelievable. It is so unique. And your parents were, I think they're one of the greatest heroes. That they saved not only their family, they saved the Laufer family.
You know what I'm sorry about? That I never could, when I got grown up, like now, that I could ask my father things. Because when I was young, when I was a child, I didn't ask things because I didn't want to get involved too much.
And the trauma, maybe it was...
I got a very strong, because I developed myself, and therefore I got a strong,
You became strong because
I didn't want to know everything about the war, and that's because if you go backwards, you can't.
It's amazing that your parents said that now we're moving forward.
And I think that
they created
there
a life.
were no psychologists.
There weren't any psychologists.
You didn't have it, I think.
But I think you both are amazing, and I think your parents, they're smiling from Shemayim because what they did and what they accomplished and what you've done and how you've created and what you've gone through, I think it's just superhuman.
But you know what, I got a lot, I don't know, we had just 5 children. I got a lot of support from my father. Because I got independent, and I got a lot of support from him. He always said, Chaja, you can do everything. What you want, you can do. He always said to me,
That's
I got
wonderful.
a lot of support from him. He was a very special man. Yeah.
Well, you have the most special family, you really do, and you should just have mazel and bracha, and
okay.
it's been the greatest
But
honor
now
and
I want to
privilege.
tell you, my daughter, Gilly, she wanted...
This is your father.
Yes.
And everybody in the family got one.
Yes, this is his number, what he had from the, it was not engraved in the arm.
Where did he receive the number? In
It was off from Boegenwald of Stresa, I don't know which one. Perhaps I never thought about it. And now what is interesting, and this he keeps all the numbers from the people. I don't know. Oh no. This I think is the days. I don't know exactly. Here you have the letters. You see? He wrote to my mother. There's all these letters.
Oh,
this is my mother writes to my father, Ben Sion. Yes. Here what
and here you can see this is the...
Yes, and here is Ben Sion. Yes, here also my mother to my father. I don't know how they kept these letters. I don't know. You see all these letters? Yeah. My mother writes, Liebe Papa. She writes that she got his letter and I don't know what, but it's all the letter. Yeah. Yeah, look at a lot of letters. You see? You have to look at the date. I don't know. You see here?
That's amazing. Here, this is...
This is, for example, here I have November 1944. So that my mother wrote to my father. Can you understand how they got these letters?
It's amazing. And look here, this went through the post. Here's with the Deutsche Reich. With the same with Hitler, the Maximum. Wow.
This is my father to my mother because I know it. He had his handwriting was like painting.
It's so
You see?
It's magnificent.
You see how
This is December 1944.
yes, December 1944.
And then here's in Hebrew.
And here he writes in Yiddish, okay?
With Hebrew script.
I don't know if it's a letter or he wrote. This is written in Yiddish. But I think we're not allowed to write in Yiddish letter because they had to.
The censor.
There was the. And I think that's are songs what
And
he
here's,
wrote. That are songs what he wrote. Ja, hij is een Shir, a song, Ich führe heim. You know what is Ich führe heim? And then I sat weiter.
I'm going home.
I said,
Yes.
And there's one of the songs here also.
Did he compose? Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, it could be. I have to ask. This I have to ask Moshe because that's. So you want to see more? These are all songs what he wrote.
It's amazing.
These are all songs what he wrote. But in the beginning, you see all these.
All the original. Those are the letters.
All these. Yes, I think that he did it because this is. He make here signatures for the German. You see.
Wow.
I think he did it because not to forget. This I don't know what it is. Anyway,
Thank you so much, Chaja. It's so precious.
it's good that I found it.
You must keep it. And everyone in the family got a copy.
Yes, everybody has a copy, and the original.
It's in the museum.
Yeah.
So here's a picture of your father, and he was also a mohel.
This was his last breed before he died. I remember.
And your father made a crown.
Yeah.
And you got
family crown.
And where's that crown today?
The crown is at my a nephew, the son from my eldest brother, because he is a safe. He is working in the Bursa. He has a safe, so it is there.
And this is the crown, and this is when you got married.
Yes.
And this is your daughter with the same crown.
Yes.
It is such a wonderful, and when somebody in the family gets married, they wear the crown.
Oh, once, yes.
It's such a wonderful.
There are already grandchildren marry visit. Huh?
It is magnificent. What a wonderful, and it's such a memory for your father as well.
He made it. He made it. I don't know what will happen afterwards with it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yes, this is a Candelaria already. I think it is still from Czechoslovakia, from Bratislava. So we are now in at least 80 years old, no, or more.
And this is a picture with
this
you.
This is a picture when I was 5 years old.
And how did the candelabra? How did it survive?
Because we had a very good in a synagogue was somebody who was the one who in charge. He was not Jewish, and he had some things. We gave it to him to keep it if we will survive, and he gave it us back. Also furniture. I don't understand how did happen. Furniture also. Furniture and like this and other things, he gave it back.
It's wonderful.
He was like a shamash in the synagogue, but not really a shamash. He was in the front of in the hall of the synagogue. He was.
And after the war, he gave it back.
Yeah, but anyway, non-Jewish, and he gave it us back all the. Yeah.
Okay, this is the most amazing picture, and you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
So may this just be passed down to many, many generations.